Happy Saturday to you here today. Hopefully you're having a great morning, and if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please feel free to do that right now as well. I greatly appreciate it. And with that, guys, we got ourselves a nice slate of NBA action here today. We're going to start with the Sixers at the Pistons. That's going to be an 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Now, the Sixers are the 9-point favorite on the road here. Numbers 219 flat. And if you like the Detroit Pistons in a big upset at home here, they're plus 290 on the money line. Now, did you know that we've won 3 out of our last 4 board member tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage? That's right, and you can actually join our board member tier package membership today when you click the link in the description section below. We currently have a community of over 1,075 sports bettors just like you who are signed up and active on that page. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in just a few minutes, but the link for that website is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And as horrific as Detroit's been this season, they're actually fortunate enough to be facing a Philly team who's on the second of a tough back-to-back. They were just home in Philly against the Celtics yesterday, now back out to Detroit the day after. Now, the Pistons have successfully covered the point spread in 3 out of their last 5, and they do find themselves in the top 10 in home offensive rebounding. Jeremy Grant scoring over 25 points a game for the Pistons, 6 boards and 3 assists for the 6'8 forward. Meanwhile, Derrick Rose is scoring 15 points a night off the bench, 2 boards and 5 assists a night for the veteran point guard. The Pistons are in the top 3 in the NBA defensively in fourth quarter points allowed at home. Now they're taking on a Philly squad who will most likely have to go to work once again without Vincent Poirier and Mike Scott. The Sixers have also lost 4 of 6 on the road this season, and they went just 2-4 against the spread in those ball games. I'll tell you what, this Philly squad has been pretty bad on the road over the past couple of seasons. Now, the Sixers are in the bottom 3 in the NBA in road scoring this season. They're also in the bottom 10 in road defensive rebounding. Philly scoring just 104 points a night when they travel, and they drain just 32% of their 3 balls in that same category. Now, total-wise, Philly's 5-1 to the under on the road this season. Detroit 6-2 to the under at the Little Caesars Arena. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Detroit Pistons plus 9 and the under 219. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick time out and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Saturday's NBA basketball action. Happy Saturday to you. Hopefully you guys had a great start to your weekend yesterday. Hopefully you guys won a little bit of money out there, and even if you didn't, hopefully you had a great night, maybe a good meal. Maybe, I don't know. I just hope you guys are doing good. All right, I don't know what I'm thinking right now. But anyway, before we dive into some more free content, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we've won 3 out of our last 4 board member tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. So once again, when you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you're going to instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. The cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those who are wondering what the difference is between my Patreon site and my free picks right here on YouTube, well, what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in on typically just 4 to 5 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. A lot of the times, we'll break down NBA and college basketball here on YouTube, and out of all those picks, I'll narrow down, my favorite 4 out of all those free leans. But anyway, I'll tell you this much. I'm having a lot more success betting on games in smaller sample sizes versus wagering on every single game that's on the slate, side and total like I do with my free leans here on YouTube. Now, guys, we currently have a community of over 1,075 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com Brock Page. And with that, guys, we have got to move. We got to move on. Let's go ahead and dive into some more free content. Our next matchup, it is going to be Heat versus the Nets, 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Brooklyn. Now, the Brooklyn Nets are -7 at the Barclays Center this evening. Totals 228.5. And despite losing their last 2 straight ball games, both to Cleveland, we're still looking at a Brooklyn squad who's 7-4 straight up at home, and they rank first in the NBA in home scoring. Now, the Nets are scoring over 121 points a night at the Barclays Center. Kevin Durant scoring over 31 points a game, 8 boards and 6 assists for the NBA champion. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving scoring nearly 30 a game himself, 4 boards and 6 assists for the aloof starting point guard. The Nets are in the they're ranking. Let's try that again. Come on, bro. The Nets are first in the NBA in offensive field goal percentage. And they also rank in the top 5 in shooting the 3 ball. They're taking on a Miami squad who's failed to cover the point spread in 6 out of their last 8 themselves. And they rank dead last in the association in offensive rebounding. The Heat scoring just 107 points a night when they travel. And they've lost 5 of 7 away from home. Hero, Silva, Butler, and Leonard, they're all questionable for Miami. Now, total-wise, 5 out of the Heat's last 7 did get over the posted number. Brooklyn's 11-0 to the over in their last 11 ball games themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Brooklyn Nets -7 and the over 228.5. All right, next contest, it is going to be Pelicans versus the Timberwolves, 8 p.m. East. The New Orleans Pelicans are -8 on the road, totals 222.5. And as bad as Minnesota's been, the Pelicans aren't playing good enough basketball to be favored by 8 on the road, at least in my opinion here. They went just 1-7 straight up in their last 8 ball games, and they've also lost 6 of 9 away from home. New Orleans is in the bottom 5 in road scoring, and they make just 68% of their free throws when they travel. They're taking on a Minnesota squad who successfully covered the number in 4 out of their last 7 themselves, throwing out the Atlanta game yesterday. Now, the T-Wolves, for how bad they've been, they also find themselves covering 50% of their ball games at the Target Center, so they're not completely helpless against the number. They've covered half of their games at home. D'Angelo Russell scoring 21 points a night along with 3 boards and 6 assists. Malik Beasley's also scoring over 19 a night himself. 5 boards and a couple assists for the 6'4 guard. Minnesota's in the top 10 in fourth quarter scoring at home. Top 5 in second quarter points allowed at home as well. So doing, yeah. Anyway, total-wise, Minnesota's 4-1 to the under in their last 5. New Orleans is 5-4 to the under in their last 9 road games. I don't know what this means. It means I don't know what I'm thinking. Give me the underdog Minnesota T-Wolves +8 and the under 222.5. I think my brain just goes so fast that my mouth can't catch up with it. I get all excited. But anyway, next matchup, it is going to be Nuggets versus the Suns. 9 p.m. Eastern start time in the desert. Now, this game is currently off the board. Devin Booker is currently listed as day-to-day, so I'm assuming that the markets are currently waiting on his playing status here tonight. But regardless, we are looking at a Phoenix team struggling a little bit. They lost 3 out of their last 4, and they actually rank in the bottom 3 in offensive rebounding. And as good as they've been defensively, the Suns are also in the bottom 5 in defensive field goal percentage at home. Their opponents are shooting over 48% from the field in that category. And for those who are into historical trends, the Suns have lost 8 out of their last 10 meetings with Denver. And speaking of the Nuggets, they're on a 2-game winning streak themselves, 7-3 straight up in their last 10. Denver's won 4 of 6 on the road this year, and they lead the NBA in road offensive field goal percentage. Now, the Nuggets are currently scoring 119 points a game when they travel. Nikola Jokic is scoring 26 points a game along with 11 rebounds and 10 assists. The 6'11 center is also averaging 2 steals a game defensively. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray scoring over 19 points a night himself, 4 rebounds and 4 assists for the starting point guard. Denver's in the top 5 in the NBA in scoring, top 3 in defensive rebounding. Now, Booker or not, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Denver Nuggets winning this one outright for some money line cash. All right, next contest I have for you, it is going to be Golden State versus Utah, and that's going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Vivint Smart Home Arena. Now, the Utah Jazz are -6 at home, numbers 224.5. Now, guys, Utah's playing some very good basketball right now. 7-game winning streak for them. 80% against the number in their last 10. One of the best covering teams in the association right now. The Jazz are in the top 3 in offensive rebounding, as well as ranking in the top 3 in shooting the 3-ball. Donovan Mitchell is scoring over 24 points a night for the Jazz, 4 boards and 5 assists for the shooting guard. Meanwhile, Jordan Clarkson scoring 18 points a game off the bench, 5 rebounds and a couple assists for Clarkson. Utah is in the top 5 in home defensive rebounding as well, and they allow their opponents to score just 105 points a game on their home court. Now they're taking on a Golden State squad who lost 3 out of their last 5 themselves, and they rank dead last in defensive rebounding on the road. The Warriors are giving up 121 points a night when they travel, and their opponents make 40% of their three-pointers in that same category against them. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, 6 out of Golden State's last 8 ball games stayed under the number. Utah's 4-2 to the under in their last 6. I'm going to lean toward the Utah Jazz -6 and the under 224.5. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Rockets versus the Mavericks, 9 p.m. East. The Dallas Mavericks are -10 at home, totals 220 and a hook. Now, the Mavs really haven't been scoring a whole lot of points at home to be able to be giving up double digits in this spot here, of course, in my humble opinion. Dallas is last in the NBA in home scoring, and they're also last in free throw percentage on their home court as well. The Mavs score just 101 points a night at the American Airlines Center, and they rank in the bottom 10 in shooting the 3-ball. Now, Richardson, Richardson, Finney-Smith, Kleba, and Powell, they're all on the injury report. They're kind of banged up right now. The Mavs are taking on a Houston team who's coming fresh off a 1-point victory over Detroit yesterday. As a matter of fact, the Rockets have given up 109 points or less in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. Houston is in the top 10 defensively in fourth quarter points allowed. And even on the offensive side, the Rockets rank in the top 10 in the association in fourth quarter scoring as well. Now, Wood and House are both questionable. Wall is out, and I think that's kind of the reason why we're seeing such a high number here with regard to the spread. But regardless, scoring-wise, Houston's 2-0 to the under in their last couple of games, 9-1 to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Mavericks are 4-0 to the under on their home court themselves, 10-5 to the under overall for the season. I'm going to lean toward the underdog, Houston Rockets, +10, and the under 220.5. And with that, guys, we are going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Lakers versus the Bulls. 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off in the Windy City. Now, the visiting LA Lakers are the 9-point favorite on the road here. Total is 228 flat. Now, LA's the best road team in the NBA right now. They're perfect 8-0 straight up when they travel. Having said that, though, AD and LeBron, both listed as questionable. These guys are questionable almost every night. Really tough to tell whether one of them or both of them will play day in and day out. Jared Dudley's also out, and Kostas Antetokounmpo, he's out as well. And if you're into prop betting, the Lakers are actually in the bottom 10 in the association in third quarter scoring on the road. Now, they're taking on a Bulls team who's led by Zach LaVine, who's scoring over 27 points a game, along with 5 boards and 6 assists. Lauri Markkanen's also scoring nearly 20 a night himself, along with 6 rebounds. The Bulls are currently on a 3-game winning streak, and they went a very impressive 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 ball games. They're also one of the best covering teams in the association right now. The Bulls, at least over the past couple of weeks. Now, the Bulls, they score 118 points a night, and they rank in the top 3 in foul shooting at home. Meanwhile, defensively, on the other end of the court, the Bulls are in the top 5 in the NBA in defensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, the Lakers are 7-1 to the under when they travel, 63% to the under for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Chicago Bulls +9 and the under 228. And with that, guys, we are going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we won 3 out of our last 4 board member tier package picks on that website. I like the Pistons +9 under 219. Nets -7 over 228.5. Timberwolves +8 under 222.5. I also like the Nuggets winning that one outright for some money line cash. Give me the Jazz -6 under 224.5. Rockets +10 under 220 and a hook. And before I give you my pick for the Lakers-Bulls game, one final reminder that we have another board member tier package play going off today on Patreon. Link for that pick is in the description section below. Please feel free to smash the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. You can also subscribe right now if you haven't done so already. Give me the Chicago Bulls +9 and the under 228. With that, guys, we are going to dive into some shout-outs. And these shout-outs go to my top 10 favorite commenters over the past day or so. So shout-out to Regal K, Memory Lane, Tom Beasy, Carter Brown, Red Bull Psycho, Marcus Mejia, K-Rose TV, Tony Sloan, Stephen Lewis, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout-out to my good friend, Jared Gralton. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind, we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. Also, just keep in mind, if you end up buying a package here today, all the cheaper memberships are free. So if you end up getting the $4.99 package here today, all the cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. But anyway, guys, most importantly, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/rockpage.